since the incredible 400 years.
Yeah.
Adria and her company is one of the sponsors for incredible 400 years. The first slave landed in the United States, or the first African American is a better way to say it, in 1619. And since
In the United States?
in the United States, 1619, and there was a extraordinary event that talent, art, beauty, showcasing, highlighting all of the incredible work and arts and movement that's come through. Much of the civil rights movement made for rights for so many others in the country, nonviolent, all of the different artists and contributors celebrated and highlighted. Such a beautiful gathering at the Skirball Center just a couple nights ago,
Wow.
led by Nick Cannon. Was the
Ooh.
MC, is the local, and Adria, I'd love for you to share because it was
Absolutely.
so profound, so moving, so inspiring,
Wow.
such inspiring work. And she's working with Khalifa and now the National Organization of Women. She's
Ooh.
the California chapter.
So the first event, the event a couple nights ago was the launch on the West Coast for it's called HB 1242. It's a bill on the Senate that is set to historically archive the last 400 years of African American history. And develop a fund so that we can begin to have, I'm calling, this is my just personal take on it, almost a reparations fund to begin to support African Americans that were dispersed because of slavery. So it's a really, and then so the campaign is celebrate, fund, and commemorate. So those are the three things that we're going to be doing over the next year. So you'll see lots of other events popping up. It's the incredible400years.com is the website, and just honored to be a part of this. The event was fabulous. Dance, like she said, just dancers, and we had Harry Belafonte on stage as someone portraying him. It was really incredible. I didn't realize until, I call it edutainment. You know, when you get things fed to you through entertainment, sometimes you grasp more information. And so that's our way now of getting this information out of the last 400 years through edutainment experiences like this.
Such a gift.
That's amazing.
It was really amazing. Yeah, and then Mary. So then I also I work with California Now, and so we're working on I'm personally working on Marianne Williamson's campaign. We haven't endorsed her through Now, which is the National Organization for Women, but I'm sure they're not, because again, she's a spiritual leader. She's not a traditional politician, as we all know. But honored to be with her on September 26th in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we're gonna have a nice town hall with her.
Was so beautiful. And so that's is there anything that we can share with you that came through today that
so you were talking about giving and receiving.
Yes.
And so I love giving, but then you said something that really hit home, receiving without what did you say? Even
or feeling like you had to give something back with strings attached.
Right. Yeah. And so I struggle with that, because I feel like, okay, someone's giving me something. I feel like so can you explain that more, and how do I evolve or grow from that?
It's such a powerful question. And Adria, I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing and for all the ways that you show up. I want to make sure the incredible 400 years, incredible400years.com, get out there. And so this is the teaching of the three graces. There's this incredible story in Greek mythology. It happens in Egyptian, and there's three daughters in the Mayan culture as well. And one of the daughters, one of the graces, her job in the moment is to give. And she gives with her whole heart the most that she can give. And she delights in the giving. And that's her whole experience. She's not giving to get. She's not giving for any other reason other than just to give. And the receiver on the other end receives not just the physical thing, but the whole emotion of being given to, the mental energy, the spiritual energy. And there's nothing but this person to do but have the sheer joy of receiving, and all through, as if God source love is giving it to themselves. The other person is just a conduit for this giving. There's the God in them made sure that you received this particular thing. When you receive this way, as if it's coming directly from source love, then you're able to really expand in the joy of receiving, seeing everything as miraculous, and seeing yourself connected with the whole of God's source oneness. When there's strings attached, you on a subtle energy level, we've been taught this, right? Somebody gives you something, you got to write them a thank you note. Make sure you send it to your grandmother within the next 24 hours. Right? The whole, like, we've been taught that if you're not grateful to that person directly, that giving channel will go away.
Right. Yeah.
Right,
No,
right.
that's talk.
Right. It's a in the cosmos, right? In the actual energy of giving, receiving, and witnessing. The way that the energy moves is like a Fibonacci sequence. If you receive wholeheartedly, like there's nothing you have to do, but it's your joy if you give them gratitude in the future. It's your joy if you do something for them, or God, source, the universe will bless them tenfold for everything that they give. That's like the whole joy of receiving.
Yeah.
How does the tenfold happen? There is the third grace. The third grace is the witness. And the third grace makes sure that the one that was receiving gets received at the higher level, right? The one that was giving is now at the higher level. And the witness itself is at the higher level. Another way to say this is, so you see your neighbor get a beautiful home, right? And in the past, you're like, there's not enough. That home is so beautiful. I would have loved that. It's now off the market, right? Mm-hmm. So as the witness, you're canceling some of that energy, but you're like, oh my God, my neighbor got this house. That means I'm one step closer to getting this house. God is showing me, all of the universe is showing me. I'm so happy for them. You go and you witness them. You go, wow, how wonderful this is. Even if it's just in your energy space, you're right. Witnessing it. Then the universe gets the message. There's more than enough for you, more than enough for every person. That's how it multiplies tenfold. But it comes, again, everything is energy. And there is this pure energy of giving. And we added all of this extra stuff to it. Right. And said, oh, the one who's giving is more powerful than the one that's receiving. But if there was no receiver, right, then what the giver is trying to give never lands anywhere. The giver and receiver are just as important. Right. And then on that next element, it's so beautiful to fully understand that the witness, if you witness a good event happening, a hug happening, someone helping someone, lift them up off the sidewalk, everyone has a boost of serotonin, oxytocin. If people do this repetitively, if they make kindness a way of being, there's also like a dopamine release that helps their brain function electrically, magnetically again, and their heart beat. The witness, the giver, and the receiver, all of their heartbeats linked up, same serotonin burst, dopamine, norepinephrine, and oxytocin. It's such a gift to really get. You have to notice your energy when you're receiving. Do I feel like I have to give back to this person? like the first part is, if someone gives you a compliment, can you just simply say thank you? Right? If someone gives you a compliment, you're like, no, oh, this dress is just from the store down the street.
Right.
That happened to me with the elder.
Yes.
I took a 17 gang members, 25 gang
Yes.
members from Pico Union and stuff to the elders in Denver, right?
Yes.
So they could be with the elders. So, and I helped the elders with something. He says, oh, young lady, you've been so wonderful. And I said, oh, no, nothing. He says, well, you know, as an elder, I don't like to be contradicted.
Yeah.
And if you can't take a compliment, just say, it's a good signal. Like, okay.
Signal. And it's so important to be able to receive the positive feedback from another, as well as the negative feedback from another, as if they're both a gift, and be able to witness yourself in that as well, right? It's so beautiful. What a brilliant story, right? That
ever since I thank people, I say, oh,
yeah,
it was a pleasure or something.
Yeah, it's so important, and it's so beautiful. It's like, oh my gosh, all the things. One of your amazing stories with, like, Jane Goodall is one of my personal heroes, right? Like, just anything that she works on. Gloria Steinem again, and sort of I'm on the board on one of her things as well, that she's on the board with the Layla Love Foundation, sex trafficking being stopped. So, but you were able to, like, Jane Goodall, bring her to meet indigenous tribes of all.
She went to Panama.
She went to Panama.
And I went with Phil Lane.
Chief Phil Lane.
Yes. And so I had been coming and going with him. We were working with the 7 tribes.
Yes.
Panama. So he knew her from before also. So he says, okay, let's do something really beautiful for her.
Yes.
So we got this big theater, and I got all 7 tribes bring their children to sing to her, and some of them had to travel like 28 hours in buses, who knows what, and all these beautiful children from all the tribes, and they all gave her little gifts that they made, and they sang to her, and it was the greatest moment for her.
She had to receive, and she didn't receive on her behalf. She received for all the research she did. She received for every prayer behind her as well as forward. Those kids will never forget being able to give.
And they spent the whole day with her the next day.
They spent the whole day. And your willingness to receive on behalf of the dreams and the miracles that you're here to make is quite extraordinary. And so Jane Goodall had to receive at that level, and she had to build up that muscle, right? A spark of miracle frequency is happening for all of us. Today I wrote down, what are the 4 things, right? Miracle frequency, like the spark is for all of us. And some people call it luck. It's lucky. Some people call it ultimate. But ultimately, it's determination and hard work to really be able to build that muscle, to receive at that level, to give at that level, and to witness at that level, that frequency, and
to trust your worthiness.
And then there'll come up moments where I love this statement, and I just saw this recently, and I knew this, when Jesus, Christ consciousness, that high consciousness, saw that Lazarus was dying or dead, even though he knew he was coming back to life, even though all of the different processes, there was still an emotional sympathy, an emotional empathy, an emotional component. There wasn't a withdrawal. There was the giving of the human tears, the giving of this energy. There was the mental processes, right? Even knowing it was going to turn out fine in the future, in that moment, processing the energy in a manner, all of spirit going through us, we learn to be the perfect givers, right? It's easy to give to our children at that perfect level without expecting something back. But oh my gosh, you give to someone over and over and over and over again, and they might not say thank you. Can you still be able to give to them? That energy comes from if you're giving for the joy of you giving. Mm-hmm. And understanding that you're connected to source directly, whatever you gave came from source anyway. You get to give it forward. And whether they receive it with the intent that it was given, they misunderstand it. Once I threw a party for someone, right, in our home. We throw birthday parties a lot. I threw a birthday party, and they decided I threw them this birthday party for social media reasons, right?
Oh, boy.
And their son was going to the war in Africa. Not Africa, in Afghanistan. They were going, and the reason that I put it on social media is I wanted the son to always have access to his mother's birthday party wherever he was. But she misunderstood the whole thing from her own level of consciousness, not being able to receive. And did I stop giving birthday parties? No. Did that hurt? Yes. Do I still love her? Yes, because it wasn't for her. It was for God, for the Son, for the oneness. When we see it in that element, not necessarily for social media, and this was years ago, so it's not anything that's been recent. It was before the lives and that sort of stuff. It was, anyway, I'm just sharing that because it's so important that you stay connected to your reason for why you're doing it. And I love Mother Teresa's, right? Love anyway, give anyway, forgive anyway. You're going to be misunderstood. And you have no attachment to, you give to be able to give directly from God, source, the universe. You receive, you have to teach yourself it's coming from God, the universe, and then witness it to the next level.
But that brings me to something. Yeah. My mother was not very religious.
Yeah.
But she was a very spiritual person in a way. And one day I said, Mommy, because I was living in Mexico. Yeah. Mommy, Doña Lupita, she's going to go to heaven because she feeds those people every Friday, every in the afternoon, her leftovers. And then I hear, boom, on the table, and she says, I don't want to ever catch you doing a good deed to guarantee your real estate in heaven.
Yes.
You do it. Yeah. Elevate yourself, and in that way you elevate all of humanity. And I'll never forget that.
It's so beautiful, mm-hmm. Right? That elevation of humanity, not to get somewhere, but to be in the process.
Yeah. To not say, oh, I did this, I did that, but just do it, or I'm doing it to go to heaven.
Yes.
Right. Is I'm doing it because it comes from my heart.
You're doing it because it comes from your heart. It's so beautiful. And it's such a subtle energy, but it's so important to really frame it that you're doing it for the God within you, mm-hmm. for the love within you, for the universe in you. It gives to you to give. And if it doesn't give to you, you've got to give to yourself enough so that you're able to give from the overflow. You've got to give, love, connect, cherish, whatever that is, enough. So you're giving from the overflow. It's a cycle that
keeps feeding itself.
Yeah.
The giving gives you the overflow.
It's so beautiful. Adria, I loved your question. And to really give yourself kudos when you do receive. Like, be gentle. This is how I taught myself to receive. Is if anyone offered me help, including the grocery store, like I would buy a thing of milk, and the guy would say, do you need help out to the car? And my answer was yes. As a matter of fact, I do. I'm learning to receive. You can carry my gallon of milk out to the car for me, and we'll put it in my trunk. And so I learned to receive through each person that was offering it. Every time someone gave me a compliment, I would have to sit with and just say, thank you. thank you. And not, I had to even right now catch myself and say, I'm so grateful you shared that with me, right? Just to that hard core work and just receiving. Yeah. And once I got that down, it was so much easier to give at the next level as well. So
I wanted to say a little something. You know how times are right now with the orange-headed person at the helm. I'm saying names. Honestly, I'm out doing random acts of kindness all day long deliberately, because people don't see that in television. They don't see that everywhere. So like crazy things, like opening the door, running to open the door for a young man who's carrying some stuff, and he's like that, and says, nobody did that for me before, or something. Or somebody says, have a good day. I say, well, have a good life. Why be chintzy? You know, and helping, and every single person I see that, because I was raised in Mexico, so my heart's from there, and I'm suffering a lot with some of that stuff. But every little Mexican baby, every black baby, every brown baby, every white baby go, oh, your baby is so beautiful. Yeah. Your baby is so beautiful, and I really mean it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm being very obvious to courtesies of humans to humans. You know, going to the store or whatever, you know. That doesn't come out in television, but people feel it and take it home, you know?
One-on-one. We are running out of time. Oops. We're so glad that you joined us, Adria. I love you. I see in the comments, for everyone that can see it, it's spelled incredible400years.com. Sign up for the newsletters. The pop-up events happen all over the world is what they're developing. Nick Cannon, the television star, I think his singer, is on Idol, one of the talent shows, was one of the MCs there. It's so beautiful just to see and give birth to this. The more numbers in their newsletter to celebrate it, the more collective power that shows up. So that's incredible. So no I in front of the incredible. Incredible 400, the number 400years.com. Thank you, love, so much. So glad you're here. And then Huda raised her hand. Huda, this is being recorded, so we're coming back to you and unmuting you. Let's see if we can unmute you one more time. It'll unmute.
Okay.
Yes. Yay.
Yes, hi again. When you were talking about giving, and I was just thinking about the beautiful crystal castle energy, which is DNA is also crystal form.
Yes.
And a lot of the giving and receiving selflessly really is about awakening the crystalline DNA within us all and bringing back the Christ, which is crystalline consciousness. And that frequency is so extremely, incredibly beautiful and powerful. Everything that all the religions have taught leads to that crystalline Christ awakening, bringing it here to earth as in heaven.
Yes.
And when that beauty lives in the heart, only the pure could touch and bring alive. And I believe the effort for all light workers at that state of consciousness.
Thank you, Huda. That was so important. Thank you so much for adding that. So beautiful. You guys, we are back on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Wednesday at 6 p.m. We've got Suzanne Ross as a guest speaker. She has Sci-Fi TV, and she is just extraordinary. She retreats all over the world. She's interviewed every luminary that you can list, name them. Every single one has been on her show. Greg Braden, keynote speakers for her events are usually Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton. She's got Deepak Chopra. She's got Marianne Williamson. She's got so many. She's coming on Miracle Makers, and so I'd love for you to.
She's got this one.
Yes, I'm on her as well, and we're hosting a retreat in Sedona. We're inviting you guys to come. We make all things possible for miracle makers. We love you. We'll see you Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mwah, mwah. Now, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. That's how you get the invites. If you go to miraclemakers.com, you'll get the invites to the newsletter. You'll also get really brilliant self-guided, self-love, loving what is guided meditation. So love you guys. See you Wednesday. Thank you for all that you are. We'll see you soon. Thank you. You were amazing.
The Mayans don't clap because they say it breaks
the energy.
So they all go like
this. It's so
it's
beautiful.
great when hundreds do it.
Yes. Woo. It's
like
so
butterflies.
lovely. We'll see you soon. Bye for now. Thank you. Thank you.